So we are here to explain about all those songs, about all those writing trips, what happened, why things were delayed.
I saw that floating around.
Catch it.
Dog is your pube. You're only one. So these are the lost songs.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite songs.
Yeah, I think it's one of my favourite ever McFly songs.
Ever, yeah, it's one of my favourite.
I love it. Like, I never get tired of listening to that.
It'd be in my McFly greatest hits.
It's crazy. That's eight years old now. Then
Is it 8 years
Wow.
old? Oh my god.
it's 8 years old. And
8 years old.
No one's heard that.
I remember we were on tour, on the Greatest Hits tour, like 6 months after that or something, and we were in Birmingham, and there was a couple of fans in the sound check for a VIP thing, and Tom was on the piano, and you were playing the riff, and it sounded so cool, like just on the piano, and I was like, oh man, I love this song, and there were a couple of fans, and I was watching them thinking, oh, they don't know, but they're going to hear this soon, and I was like, I can't wait, and
8 years later.
8 years later, finally.
Closing my eyes, I'm sure there's so much more. If you wanna know what the future holds, look inside your soul. Only then you'll go high.
We were just trying to explore like what we were going to do next as a band, what we were going to sound like, and I feel like this song didn't sound like we were trying to be, you know, current and do whatever was on the radio at that time. It doesn't feel like we were trying to make ourselves sound like, you know, what we think people want us to be, or like the band we were, you know, when we started. And you know, it just feels like we were writing songs because that's what we, you know, inspired by our surroundings and you know, whatever we were into at that time. And like lyrically, it's literally just describing when looking out the window.
But it's really good, they're really good.
But in a quite like just a, I guess, a poetic kind of way.
That's what I mean about it was like, for me, because I can be a bit more objective, like it's like the perfect evolution for the band. It was like there was no outside pressures, you know. In a way, the success of the TV shows we've done, taken the pressure off a bit of like, you know, got to get new music out. That had kind of almost bought us some time.
Well, and we decided as well that like we weren't going to release anything, like tried to like cash in on you guys being on TV every week in front of millions of people and release a song quickly. Like we just were like, that's doing its own thing. We're going to take our time to make this album. Quite often when we go on writing trips, there'll be one, you know, you mess around with ideas, and then there'll be the one that kind of opens the door to all the other ones that follow. Like, and it's always been the way. Even back on the first album, I remember That Girl was, well, there was That Thing You Do that we wrote with Busted, and then That Girl was the first one for McFly that opened the door to everything that came from McFly. And every album's had that kind of song. And I feel like Hyperion was that song for all of the ones that followed.
I love that it's like, how long is it? It must be the longest.
5 minutes.
Yeah, it's the longest song. And it's that thing of like, it's one of those songs that really grows on you. It just takes its time, you know, it's not like, quick, get to the chorus, like, you know.
Well, so that's why like it's hard trying to think, well, let's just re-record Hyperion and put it on like when we do eventually do album 6. You know, that you won't, because we spent so long, like what's important about that it's not just about the melody and the lyrics, it's the production and all the sounds that we worked really hard on getting for that demo. that makes the song. And like, you know, there's a lot of the bits that I love on that song aren't the bits when you're singing. It's like the bass groove over the drums, and the way the acoustic sounds like a shaker, and you know, and the things that it's really hard to recreate again. We recorded stuff for this at OC, and we ended up going back to this version because it just felt like this captured that moment.